Hello YouTube, Eric here again, and wanted to do another little talking video. The video won't be pleasant to watch, so I don't know, consider looking at something else if you'd like, and maybe just listen to the words, or not. Give me dislike if you'd like, whatever. I just got back from a walk, and I'd like to say that before I went for a walk, I jotted down a couple things that I wanted to make some videos of. Now, this one probably won't be the perception of strengths versus weaknesses, but this is very important. That's actually a video I wanted to make that video for about 4 years. Okay? Because I'm somebody, let's say this. If I try with all of my strength, I cannot walk without a limp. And that is perceived as a weakness. Been robbed at gunpoint, pistol whipped, and all that type of shit due to that. This is not going to be the topic of this video, but I've walking through life that way for 19 years now. I've seen a lot. But so the topic of this video, before I went for this walk, I wrote down Scarface as a reminder, and Voltaire, because there's a Voltaire quote that I've wanted to make a video on this Voltaire quote for more than 4 years. Okay? Since deep in the Obama regime, maybe even like 2012-ish, this Voltaire quote. And so I wrote this, I'm showing you this notepad because I wrote this down before my walk. And I just got back from my walk, fried some local soy-free eggs and local grass-fed beef tallow, ate a big scoop of cannabis-infused grass-fed butter. Yeah, I just ate a big-ass scoop of that shit. So Voltaire, the quote from Voltaire is, "Learn who you cannot question to know who rules over you." And I just got back from this walk, and I checked into YouTube, and I checked my feeds, and while I was on my walk, Owen Benjamin just uploaded a video titled "Learn Who Rules Over You." Holy shit, this is the actual, I had no intention of ever, I'm embarrassed of my handwriting, so I rarely even make notes to myself, and I would certainly never show this shit on fucking video, right? Wow, I'm fucking floored. Voltaire. Learn who you cannot question to know who rules over you. I think I first read that quote in, 2011, or certainly before the 2012 presidential debates, which was all kinds of trickery used. Okay, I was at that stage, I was pretty much an Obama hater, and I had been talking about Russia for a couple of years at that stage. And any discussion of Russia was met with ridicule to end the discussion. In fact, neocon Mitt Romney, in one of the presidential debates in 2012, he says, "With all due respect, Mr. President, Russia is a serious threat." Obama's response: the 1980s called and they want their foreign policy back. He literally cracked a super fucking lame joke, and libtards across America cheered at his ability to end the Russia discussion. Not a threat. Again, libtards across America. Okay. So that quote, Voltaire quote, "Learn who you cannot question to know who rules over you." Alright? And then why are we looking at Scarface here? This scene right here, I haven't seen the movie in probably 15, 20 years, something. But if I remember, I just typed in the word Scarface, into Google and Binged it or whatever, and hit images, and I think this is the restaurant scene where he's just super fucking wasted being a belligerent asshole, right? And people that know me know, hey, wait a minute, Eric can be kind of a belligerent asshole too. Yeah, oh, yeah, right. Okay, so there's a one very good quote from this fucking scene right here where he's yelling at all the other people in the restaurant. And he says, "You people, you need a bad guy like me to point your finger at." Okay? You need the bad guy to point your finger at, or else you're not free. Now, the same types of things that the Obama supporters, the people that supported him, the same types of discussions, and that was conspiracy theory back then, they would fight tooth and nail to not allow that discussion to take place. Use any trick they had. You know, try to paint you as, you're crazy. Yeah? That's Alex Jones talk. You want to be like lumped in with that guy? Arrgh, frogs are gay. No. Okay. Any trick to limit any discussion. Okay. So there could not be any criticism of Obama. And I'm sitting there wondering, like, what the fuck? I'm a Gen X liberal, and I'm sitting there thinking, damn, during the last 4 years of the George Bush regime, liberals were free as fucking ever in my life. We could say anything we wanted about George Bush. And he's a terrible guy, right? But so wait a minute, he's so terrible, but we can say we can question, we're free to question anything he does. Anything he says, anything. Now, not immediately after September 11th. You know, all us Gen X liberals, myself included, we shut up and got in line. When there's an act, and that can be right around the corner at any time. You know, there can be a another large event at any moment, and everybody will shut up and get in line again. Okay, but it took till late after 2004, after George Bush was reelected, before people started to like gain the balls to speak freely. And I even got one of my peers just about 3 or 4 years ago. I questioned these guys. I was like, man, I can remember in 2004. I wanted Democrat Wesley Clark. I thought he might have been the guy that could have beat George Bush, right? But he was taken out in the primary. He was running as a Democrat, right? And he was taken out. And I think it was Howard Dean who got the nomination. But he was basically, the media trashed. The media and the DNC colluded to trash General Wesley Clark, right? Which I feel he could have brought in some Republicans. He could have maybe beat George Bush. And so anyways, I'm having this discussion. In 2004, I can remember sitting around one of my liberal friends' house. And he's on the news, and I'm like, man, I think we need him. And one of my other friends, that's a liberal, he's like, nah, fuck that, man. We need George Bush in there. And I remember looking at all the rest of my liberal peers, like, man, can I get some backup here? You guys are going to stand for this dude, one of our liberal peers saying. And so I questioned him. This was about 3-4 years ago. And the guy was honest. This was cool. What he said is honesty. I very much appreciate honesty, and I have a fucking ton of respect for it, because it takes balls to be honest and admit we bought a lie, okay? And we've all bought lies. Me, I've bought some Whoppers, so I'm not hating on anybody that's bought a lie. I have bought some Whoppers myself, and it takes balls to admit it. Okay, but so when I'm questioning, I'm like, wow, I couldn't get anybody to back me up on this when, you know, Wesley Clark versus George Bush in 2004, right? And my friend looks at me and he says, well, a lot of us liberals, we were still afraid. You know, this was just a couple of years after September 11th. We were still kind of afraid to stand up against George Bush. Boom, bingo, he nailed it. Dude, that was fucking truth. Because that's kind of even how I kind of felt. It was kind of like, oh man, should I really be standing up saying these things right now? But I'm like, you know, we're the liberals, we're supposed to, right? So it was great that he admitted that. This is probably about 4 years ago he admitted that. We were talking again about 2004. So again to the Scarface scene. You need a bad guy like me to point your finger at. So people had the bad guy, George Bush, and we were, us Gen X liberals, we were the most free ever to criticize the president, anything. His administration, policy, fucking anything. Patriot Act, anything, right? Healthcare. During the George Bush regime, health-conscious liberals knew that Western allopathic healthcare was a complete failure. Obama came on the scene, and he literally put his name on Western allopathic medicine, and the same people that used to know it was a failure, now they're using any kind of trickery to limit discussion on it. You know, me, I was actually still, in 2008, I didn't like John McCain, and I wasn't very political. I didn't vote, but I basically was like, I think Obama was the right guy. You know, I admit that was wrong. I didn't vote for him or against him. I did not vote in 2008. I had health issues I was dealing with and working 2 jobs. My brother died just before the election. Okay, my brother was he red-pilled me. He was very anti-Obama. he red-pilled me just before he died. He was speaking a lot of truths. Okay, he was Ron Paul guy. Me, I just wasn't very political at the time. I had, like I said, health issues, 2 fucking jobs, and I was out chasing muskies too. I was a hardcore muskie fisherman at the time. Busy guy. Anyways, so there's another quote from the Scarface movie that I think is fucking epic. Okay? And Al Pacino, he's just a fucking Hollywood actor. So, I mean, I have not seen a Hollywood movie in the theater in 20 fucking years. I know that since I was in the car crash in the year 2000, I know I haven't been to a movie since before that. So, and I have not even turned a television on in over 2 years now. I have not had any form of pay television in 11 plus years. I don't watch television. I don't play video games. YouTube's about it. I've never been on Facebook. But so the other epic fucking quote, okay, from this movie Scarface, just Hollywood bullshit, you know, whatever. I don't condone drug use. I'm very anti-drug. I'm pro-cannabis and very much anti-drug, anti-cocaine, anti-heroin, anti-fucking pills. Okay, very pro-cannabis though. But there's a great line in this movie. He says, you know, you need the bad guy like me. But the other quote was, that's fucking epic, man. And I may, you know, maybe I'm paraphrasing here. Maybe I don't have the quote right. But I believe he says, I always tell the truth, even when I lie. And I don't know if it's a scene or what scene it was from. Probably been well over a decade since I've seen this one, right? But I watched it a lot of times. I thought it was a cool movie. I'm Gen X liberal, man. This is what we watch this shit in like Pulp Fiction all the time. Yeah, Pulp Fiction. You know the scene in the bathroom where Bruce Willis gets blasted with his own MAC-10? I still can't take a dump without my Glock in the fucking Gen X liberal. We watched that movie too many times. If I'm taking a dump, my Glock is on the sink right next to the fucking toilet. I digress. I always tell the truth, even when I lie. Now, you know how the left has just been screaming, oh my God, Trump, orange man bad, he always lies. But I like to ask people, like, look at every time the dude lies, he's basically feigning weakness, which baits in weak-minded people. Man, maybe I'm just going to have at this right now and combine it all in one. Okay, perception of weakness will always bait in weak people. And now you might glitch out right there. Universal fractal, man. Here in town, from time to time, bar time, there'll be people robbing, raping, or assaulting people, drunk people walking home alone, because they can perceive that a drunk person is fucking weak and less able to defend themselves, right? So they're looking for weak prey, same as like animals do. They're looking for that weak gazelle or whatever the fuck, right? But on occasion, I believe in the past it's happened here in this town. If not in this town, I know I've read about it happening in other places, but I believe it's been done here, where they can have somebody in undercover, in plain clothes, walking down the street, stumbling like he's fucking drunk. Now that is perceived as the weakness, and he baits in the weak fucking criminal that has to attack him, right? So now that's epic troll game like our president is doing. What if he feigns a little bit of weakness to bait in the weak people that must, you know, he says something and it's not quite right, and they're just so desperate to prove the dude wrong, they do their Google foo on their little smartphone device. And remember, I'm the only guy out there that has never been owned by a smartphone. Seriously. I never even owned a cell phone till like 2004, 2005. And I've still never been owned by a smartphone, ever. Okay? None of your, I don't even know what they call them, iPhones and whatever, the Samsungs. Never been owned by one of those, okay? I do all my walks without a phone, my canoe trips, my bicycle rides. I don't even, hey, check this shit out. I'll show you what I'm working with. You see this? This is what I'm working with. Yeah. And actually, look, the tape fell off. As soon as I got this, I put a piece of tape on there because I generally don't like my info on there. But yeah, even this piece of shit right here, this is Alexa, and she listens to me just like this thing listens to me. And so, yeah, the men in small hats, yeah, they listen. The comments on my last video, to the people that commented on that, whoa, YouTube won't even show me that those comments were made. I have to go to the video to even see that people commented on the video. And when I go to the comments, nothing. My emails, nothing. They won't even acknowledge that people have left comments there. So I may have touched a nerve. Maybe I touched a nerve here too. Just sharing some truths, hoping to encourage discussion and show people that all you have to do is see who is limiting discussion to know who rules over you. Voltaire quote, remember? Right here. Learn who you cannot criticize to know who rules over you. Okay? So look at that. The liberals that are so free to criticize Donald Trump, and they'll say he's a dictator, but you're free to criticize him. You see? You're 1,000 times more free to criticize the man at the top today than you were under the Obama regime. Fucking Voltaire. Isn't that a little bit of a red pill for you? I mean, this is how we've been seeing your actions. Me? I'm not a smart man. I was halfway retarded growing up. I'm probably only a quarter way retarded now because I got my diet right, turned my brain on, but I'm seeing things. Oh yeah, these are my cannabis butter jars. Right here. You see these in the background. And that's a 20-year-old aloe plant that I've had for 20 years. Organic. It's the last Miracle Grow I had put on it, I think, was $19.99. Okay, that's enough for this little talk / rant. Again, I welcome any form of discussion or criticism or even ridicule. We can do that too. We can use ridicule to build knowledge, and I love everybody, even my peers that I throw some friendly ribbing around. I still identify as a Gen X liberal, and when I start throwing around the terms like libtards and stuff like that, that's kind of semi-friendly ribbing. It's a little bit of an asshole type move, you know, but yeah, I'll still share a campfire with you. As long as you're not a gun grabber, I'll happily share a campfire with you because I love speaking freely with free thinkers. And I don't care what the politics are, man. I don't care what the politics are. Me stepping up for Donald Trump in 2016, think about what that did. Democrats, now you get to vote for a Democrat in 2020. I built that. Had Hillary been elected in 2016, our only options in 2020 would be voting for like a Ted Cruz and a Jeb Bush. Think about that. We would have Hillary in there. Hillary, super predator Clinton. And our only options would be like Jeb Bush and Ted Cruz. Think about that. Some of us Trump supporters were thinking a couple of steps ahead to help set you free. And we had to step out on a limb to do that, and a lot of our peers have ridiculed us for this. Remember, in 2020, you get to vote for a Democrat. Matter of fact, you even get to vote for Comrade Bernie Sanders again if you support that shit. I don't.